Hi, I'm Anthony Newbold. Welcome to A Closer Look. This is our final show for the year, what a year it was. So we thought we'd end it on a positive note, and so our guest this week is one of the co-chairs of the National Neighborhood Watch Council, Mr. Keno Wong. Mr. Wong, welcome to the show.
It's good to be here, Mr. Newbold.
We talked about, you and I, we talked about this Watch Council, I think it must have been about 3 years ago. What made you get involved with this council to the level you have since then? Because I don't know how involved you were at that point.
It's a good question. Hats off to the Consul and the Ministry of National Security and the Honorable Marvin Deems for such a great initiative for the Bahamas. And when the former Assistant Commissioner of Police, Stephen Dean, reached out to me and give me the insight of this wonderful program, at first I was hesitant. But as I saw the progress moving into 2018, I got more involved by speaking to the community that I live in to find out if we should join this movement. And from then to now, my peak of interest became more involved at this level.
Yeah. You're the co-chair. Who's your other co-chair?
The other co-chair is Alicia Hart. She is the president of the Pinewood community, and we know that Pinewood is a huge community. And so she's undertaken that particular responsibility, and she is, I will say, some of the backbone behind my success as well, and vice versa for her success.
She is Pinewood, you're what?
Johnson Terrace.
Okay.
So she's in the Southeastern District, and I'm in the Fox Hill Division.
Watch Council. How many people involved in this Watch Council? And we're not only talking about Nassau, are we?
No. The Watch Council, we have 99 groups in New Providence. We have 19 in Grand Bahama. We have 22 in Eleuthera, and we have 12 in Abaco. And of course, in 2021, we continue to expand on those watch groups through Exuma and the rest of the islands of the Bahamas.
You say you got 99 groups in New Providence. Is there an area in New Providence that is not represented that you want to, come on guys, let's go?
Well, there are many other groups, many other communities that we are looking forward to dealing with. And if you look at the police structure, there's 11 divisions in the Royal Bahamas Police Force. And so in those 11 divisions, we have communities in all 11 divisions.
Let me, as you're talking about that, because I think this is important, whatever you're doing as the National Neighborhood Watch Council, it was decided that collaboration and partnership is the way to go. You're talking about the police. I don't know people understand this full scope of the National Neighborhood Watch Council and the people who are involved in it, or the groups who are involved with it.
The scope of it is this. The Royal Bahamas Police Force has a representative in the council, which is the national coordinator, and his name is Superintendent Wilton Johnson. Under his umbrella, he has 11 liaison officers that are in New Providence. And then you have Superintendent Clark, who is in Grand Bahama. He represents that particular division. And then you have Chief Superintendent Adley, who is in Eleuthera. He takes care of the whole district of Eleuthera with his liaison officers. And of course, you have Abaco as well. And so with that in mind, you have the partnership with the Royal Bahamas Police Force, along with the community leaders. Okay. And you find that relationship is very tangible and is a unique relationship, because prior to this initiative, you would have never found where community leaders have a one-on-one relationship with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. You
and I think once we started to hear about the National Neighborhood Watch Council, the idea seemed to have taken root pretty quickly. Generally, what has the response been to this initiative?
I will say this, from the former two co-chairs, who was instrumental at the beginning, that's Barbara Hareburn and Keva Major. They spearheaded from the beginning. We came into existence in 2019, December to now. And we ran with a vision from them to us. And once we were launched in this year, we went on a spree of introducing and revitalizing the program once again in terms of going on radio shows along with our minister Marvin Deems and Superintendent Wilton Johnson. And so once the message started to resonate throughout the communities in New Providence, also Grand Bahama, and then we went into Eleuthera, we found out that, hey, the fire was burning.
Yeah.
People were interested. They got excited. They wanted to be a part of this. They wanted to know that, hey, of the olden days. You know the olden days when you could go into Auntie Sue next door and say, I need a cup of sugar, and it was not a problem. So that is a part of our initiatives. That's a part of the program. Who are the people in your neighborhood? And so once individuals found that out,
Yeah.
they got more in tune of what is taking place in this program.
Yeah. You and neighborhood, you're thinking of, this is another one of those activities that you touch people, or you congregate. How has COVID impacted how you do what you do?
Wow. I'll tell you this. January and February was full steam.
Uh-huh.
When our Prime Minister announced on March 15 our first case, which was on a Sunday, we had to scale back on a lot of our activities for the rest of the year. And of course, the council itself felt stagnated
Yeah.
because we were not used to this particular atmosphere. But through Zoom application, through WebEx,
Yeah.
we found that we had an avenue where we could still communicate. So you found that communities use those technology to continue to have their meetings, to continue to dialogue with one another. And so overall, we were at a standstill, but we kept sending messages to our council members and to the wider community in terms of staying safe, stay home, be careful. But overall, the community has been progressing through COVID, not physically, but through technology.
Yeah, you've maintained some contact.
Yes.
Speaking of you have some overriding objectives and vision for what you do. Speak to that a little bit for me.
Well, the importance of the Bahamas National Neighborhood Watch is understanding that it's not immune to both internal and external threats. All right? We places the safety and the security of the nation in high priority for the council. We have some of the benefits as a result of neighborhood watch groups that have been formed. So the reduction in crime, we're seeing that has happened in many of our communities who are part of the National Neighborhood Watch Council. An improvement of quality of life, a great sense of security, responsibility, and personal control. Increased community pride. That's one of the most important key. We find that in this initiative that individuals have this sense of pride of their communities. They want to have the best community. They want to be on the top. They want no one else to challenge them. And so you find that in the council that individuals show pride in their communities. So overall, I think that I can say that community network opportunities has been a key component of our movement.
Let me, who would begin a neighborhood watch, for example? In your neighborhood, somebody came and said, we know Keno Wong. Maybe he's the guy to do this. You identify people in neighborhoods, or people just come to you and say, listen, I heard about what you're doing. I want to lead the charge here.
In my community, we had a gentleman by the name of Mr. John Knowles, Jr. We call him Junior affectionately. He was leading the neighborhood watch, not watch, but neighborhood activities for years. And then when I came into that community, he literally just passed it on to me because he saw that I was aggressive in the community and trying to get individuals involved. So prior to me, in our community, for Johnson Terrace specifically, we did not have a core group of people together. But over the past 15 years, we have developed that.
Yeah, but you would go, how does a neighborhood watch
Well,
group
one
start?
of the things that happens is that we urge individuals to contact the Ministry of National Security, speak to Superintendent Wilton Johnson, or you can speak to any of the co-chairs who will tell you which officer is in your community. Once that officer has been identified for your community, then we take it from there. And you assemble a group of core people in your community, you strategize together and say to yourself, okay, we want to start this neighborhood watch. Then they go ahead and they They elect a president, a vice president, a board, specifically the secretary and so forth, to start their community. And once that is done, then there's training that comes from the Ministry of National Security and the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
We'll talk some more about that and talk about a watch, but we got to take a break. We'll be back with more with Mr. Keno Wong and the National Neighborhood Watch Council after this. Welcome back to A Closer Look. I'm Anthony Newbold speaking with Mr. Keno Wong. He's one of the co-chairs of the National Neighborhood Watch Council. Talking about a watch, how do you start a watch?
Persons interested in starting a watch or a neighborhood watch should contact either their nearest police station or the Ministry of National Security or the National Coordinator, Superintendent Wilton Johnson, or preferably the co-chairs. There, we have available numbers for these individuals.
Yeah, but when I hear community watch, I'm thinking somebody's watching the community. Do you have shifts?
We'll get the, yes.
What happens? Tell me about that.
Okay, so therefore, for instance, Johnson Terrace, let's use that community. Or let's take another community, Blair, which is is the oldest community watch in the Bahamas from 1977. Yeah. Okay, and Blair's off the Eastern Road, and of course, the entrance of Village Road. They have what they call command watches. They have individuals that patrol their communities on a routine. And with that being said, they have CCTV cameras that is being implemented years ago. And so their community watch is one that many other communities can eliminate or can emulate. They can emulate what they are doing. And so they have a fundamental strategy that they have what you call watchmen.
Okay.
Who actually patrol their communities in the day and in the night. Nothing passes through Blair. Nothing. And let me get kudos to them as well. President Justin Johnson and his and Richard, they are doing an excellent job in Blair. But nothing passes through them. Anything that happens in Blair, these men, along with their team, have a great responsibility of making sure that their team is what they call block captains.
Before we took the break, you started to talk about once people have been identified for these various groupings, they get training from the police force.
Yes.
Tell me about that, because that's important, eh?
That is a very important component of the program, that one must go through a proper training. Because we are partners with the Royal Bahamas Police Force. We are the eyes and ears for the program.
Yeah. And you are held to a higher standard if you're leading that watch group, I would imagine.
You are. And so we have a diverse set of people that leads. And let me tell you the diverse set of people, if you don't mind. We have individuals that have been incarcerated, who are home, who served their time, who are doing exceptionally well in their communities.
I would imagine they would be good eyes to have on a council.
Yes, they are.
They know what to look for better than
someone else.
Yeah.
Depending on what they're, yes. And so therefore, we have, the council, Mr. Newbold, is a diverse set of council. We have government employees. We have past government corporate managers. We have accountants. We have lawyers. We have business owners. The council is a diverse set of people.
What about, tell me about your young people. You must have some young people in here, eh?
I'll tell you this. There is a group of young boys that just started in Eleuthera. And they're doing exceptionally well in that group. Overall, we wanted to start our youth program this year, but because of C-19, we had to postpone those things. But we know that 2021 is going to be a full pledge for the program. I'm excited for 2021. I think great things are going to happen for the NNWC through our young people, because at the end of the day, this program has to include our young people. Our young people has a lot of energy, a lot of ideas, a lot of passion. And with our young people being on board, this program will continue to excel. You,
and I spoke to you briefly about this again last year. You had a a very important trip that you were all excited about. So I want you to tell me about that because people need to hear about this delegation that you took to California.
Let me tell you, under the leadership of ASP Princess Cavallo, who was a part of our program as well. She's now with Urban Renewal Program. And along with Superintendent Sherry Amelie out of Grand Bahama, we took a delegation of about 30 individuals, went to Palm Springs, California. And what a time that we had. It's a very enlightening time where you are now in the presence of almost 4,000 delegates who are all sharing from various parts of the United States, Canada, and the Caribbean, as far as Japan and China was in Palm Springs. And then we gathered there for approximately a week of activities and training and learning from different aspects of what is truly neighborhood watch programs all about. And you'll be amazed the autonomy that they have in America compared to how we are progressing. But remind now, this trip was phenomenal because the officers also went, the police officers. And so that was a great opportunity for all of them to understand that this program, as it relates to neighborhood, is not just a policing program, but it's a community program that it highlights the benefits of individuals taking control of their communities.
So coming back from that program, tell me what happened after you came back.
You had this burning fire inside.
More than it was before.
More than what it was before. You felt the energy, and not that you're networking. You meet so much different persons from all over the world who are there, who had their different challenges. So when you think that you have a challenge here that you cannot overcome, you learn from someone else that they already conquer that particular challenge. So when we came back, we were eager, we were excited. We wanted to start planning our own conference here in this country. We wanted to say, hey, we want to get to the point where NUSA comes to the Bahamas and have the conference here in our beautiful land.
How are you coming with that?
Well, like I said, 2020 really put a standstill in what we wanted to do. But we had a great vision on it. And I think that eventually we will get there to have NUSA come to the Bahamas.
I want to ask you some more about that, but we got to take this final break. We're speaking with Mr. Keno Wong. He's one of the co-chairs of the National Neighborhood Watch Council. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to A Closer Look. Anthony Newbold speaking with Mr. Keno Wong, the National Neighborhood Watch Council. Whatever you're doing, I'm sure it helps if the people you're trying to attract, people you're talking to, can listen and see, hear. Some people who they'd say, yeah, I think he's talking sense. Who are some of those people you've been able to encourage and get to present to your groupings?
Dr. David Allen, who we all know is one of the most prominent consulars in our country. He has been able to foster a great relationship with the Crime Advisory Board that I also served with him as well on that. We have Dr. Rochelle Iborn from the Ministry of National Security, who has trained many of our police officers on how to handle crisis in the midst of suicides and other dilemmas. The list can go on with so many as I think I'll get in trouble, and so.
You just call it some name.
Yes, so we find that even down to the Christian Council, Bishop Deldon Fernanda, who has been a beacon of strength for the council. Bishop Gregory Minnis, who has also been there. Pastor Mario Moxie, who has also shared his insight onto the council. So these are individuals that have been very instrumental in guiding and giving proper advice, not just to me, but to many others in the council.
I know you have some programs, and we don't have the time,
We don't have
obviously,
time, yes.
to go through all of them. I think you have about 6 or 7 signature programs.
Yes.
Out of all of them, and I know you got youth mentorship and gun violence, which would be,
Top priority.
yeah, right up and now. You have one called the Youth
The
Think-
youth arm. Yeah, youth think tank.
Think Tank, yeah.
That's a pivot. That was, I think, for us. If COVID-19 did not come, Mr. Nebo, that would have been one of the awesomeness of this program.
Yeah.
To see our young people truly involved. When I was in Noosa in 2019, they had a whole session just for young people.
Yeah.
You know, and to see approximately about 500 young people gathered together to speak about community initiatives, that was phenomenal. And so when we look at our young people, it strengthened, the aspect of the program is to strengthen and support action research by harmonizing the passion and creativity of our young people, applying youth perspectives. And our young people are vibrant, they are brilliant, they are tech savvy,
Yeah.
and they could present a lot of different uplift to our program.
And when I asked you about the response that you had to your initiatives, young people have been pretty accepting of this.
In my community,
Yeah.
yes, they are eager. You know, just a few weeks ago, we had a national cleanup program of the program, and many Bahamians have seen it. We Are One initiative that was initiated under Shirley Lewis, who was the president of Ridgeland Park, and her executive team. Even though they fall under the umbrella, it was something that they wanted to present was an initiative. And they're doing exceptionally well in terms of bringing healing through crisis. And you saw young people getting involved by cleaning up their communities, getting engaged with the older men and women of those communities and seeing how best they can help. And so overall, we find that our young people are going to be a pivotal part of the National Neighborhood Watch Council.
And you talk about young people getting involved with older people, and I think that buys into your mentorship,
Yes.
Bahamas
And
program. That is one
That's
of
the
your,
key too, mentorship. We need plenty mentorship. We talk about mentorship, but we don't act on it. We talk about training, but we don't act on it. But this year, that would have changed because we wanted to show the Bahamas that we are here to mentor our young people, but also have big brothers, big and sisters programs for the NNWC.
which means you need a lot of volunteers.
And that's what this program is all about, volunteering. None of us are paid. This is not a paid job. This is self-volunteer because we all want safer and better communities. And that's our mandate, safer and better communities for all.
What are those things that you need other than lots of volunteers? What would you like to, what's on your wish list for 2021 other than getting out of 2020?
It's a serious question. My wish list for the NNWC
Yes.
is peace, love, and unity in every community.
Yeah.
A brotherly love, sisterly love.
What do you need to help you get to that? What would you like to get from the Ministry of National Security, if you could?
Full autonomy
Yeah.
for the council.
And that means what, for example?
For us to have the assets to make things happen on a daily basis. And we are very appreciative of the Minister, Marvin Dames. He has never withheld anything for the council.
Yeah.
He's never, I must say that he's never withheld anything that the council desire, along with Permanent Secretary Marco Roll and the Undersecretary Cheryl Dowell and the team with Dr. Jennifer Berthel and the council attorney, Mr. Paul Jones. They have opened up the doors of the ministry to assist the National Neighborhood Watch Council throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And so we are grateful to the ministry for their partnership with us as well, because after all, it's the minister mandate and it's his baby program for this. And so at all means, and one of his key words is this: the NNWC is bigger than anyone who's a part of it.
We're at the end of the show, and they're going to watch the show. They're going to see the show years from now. So think of that as you tell me some good things that this community should feel as we come out of this year, knowing that the NNWC is in existence? What good things should they think?
Think about life. Think about the positive things that you have done in your communities. Think about how you have helped hurting people, how you have fed senior citizens. Think about all the things that may have went wrong for this year, but you have seen a beacon of hope, a beacon of light going into 2021. I say this to our communities in New Providence, Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, and all the other islands that will come on stream in 2021. It is with persistence, determination, and diligence that we will succeed to accomplish safer and better communities throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Great way to end. Thank you very much, Mr. Wong. And thank you for watching A Closer Look. Remember, you can see us on Facebook and on YouTube. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.